Hey everybody, I'm Bruce and this is the next phase. And I finally decided to get a electronic stabilizer gimbal after watching everybody's great YouTube videos on the Osmo Mobile 2, the Zhiyun, the Smooth, all the different gimbals that are out there, and decided to go with the Moza Mini Mi. And it's not that it was the cheapest, I could have bought any one of those, but this one for me just seemed to be perfect for what I do. I have other YouTube channels, and one of my main YouTube channels that I have is a backpacking YouTube channel. So having things like the Moza Mini Mi overall fits that bill for me really well. So let's take a look at it. So it comes in a couple boxes. They get like 2 boxes to get just down to this nice case. And this case is super nice. It looks like carbon fiber. It's nice and hard. It's small. It's a good case. I mean, these kind of cases I'm sure aren't cheap to make. So let's open her up. And in the case, you have the user manual, then the gimbal itself. This is the gimbal. And it comes with a little tripod that you can put on it. I'll show you that in a minute. It has the USB or mini USB cable to charge it, and a cleaning cloth. You never have too many cleaning cloths. Now the cell phone that I'll be using, and this is another part of the equipment that I'm building up over time for mainly my backpacking channel. I have some other channels too, but backpacking, I've been doing that one for 5 years, and over the last 5 years, of course, technologies and cameras and everything's changed. I've gone through little handy cams to DSLRs to cell phones to GoPros. I have a 360 cam. I've got like all these different things, all these different tripods. I did have a drone for a while, but we can't use drones that much here in Washington State. So I've been trying to pare my equipment down because I was getting up to like 20 pounds because I'd have at least 3 cameras. So I'm trying to bring it down to a cell phone, which the Samsung Note9 is a 4K. It has all the different features that I want. It is a great cell phone camera, and this is the plus version, so it has the bigger memory and it has the bigger battery. And the Moza Mini Mi, probably the biggest feature that first drew me to it is that it has a 10-hour battery in the handle, and it has wireless charging right here. And I know my Samsung has the wireless charging or key charge or whatever people are calling it, but it's a wireless charging system. And so for me, that makes a lot of sense. I already carry an extra battery, but I don't want to keep carrying lots and lots of batteries. If I can have dual purpose, dual use, then I'm all for that. And when I'm backpacking, I could actually use the battery in here. I can power off of one of the little USB ports to, say, charge my headlamp or my GPS or something else. I could actually use that. So now to get your cell phone in, it's pretty easy. These little jaws right here just separate. They're springs. And the Moza Mini Mi is smart enough so it knows, like, if whichever way you put it, whichever way you want your camera to be, that is where it'll be. So we just put it in, and I actually have a case on the outside of this phone, and so it will fit the Note9 with a case. And I'm getting a Moment case here in a little while. And so there we go. There's the Samsung Note9 all attached. And then the other thing that I really liked about this gimbal, as opposed to the other ones, is that it not only has a spot for a quarter 20 in the bottom, and you can put their little tripod in that they give you. It's a nice little tripod. It's nothing spectacular. But there's a quarter 20 there. 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 So there's lots of places. So if I want to get a loom cube, or I want to put a mic, or any kind of extra gadget like that, I can do that. Now, backpacking, I'm going to go with the Manfrotto because I actually have that as another piece of my equipment. So it'll be the tripod that I use with this gimbal. So now I've actually got a real nice gimbal handle setup. The gimbal itself, I've looked up and down. I've actually had it now for 2 weeks. It is really, really nicely made, and to keep the weight down, it's plastic. And I know it seems like there's a bunch of plastic thermonuclear engineers out there that somehow know that this plastic is inferior, and they say that this gimbal, they say, well, it's got a plastic handle. It's like, I've got plastic headlamps that are designed for going up ice climbing, and they've got plastic. So plastic isn't a downfall. In fact, I can repair plastic. It's really hard to repair aluminum. It gets a dent and you're pretty screwed. This I can actually repair. But the next thing that with all of these quarter 20s is, can the gimbal handle the weight? And this has the strongest motors in its class and can handle 300 grams of weight. Now my phone with the case is 235 grams, so I'm still within the boundaries. But what's nice is to have that much extra lee room, so if I'm not overtaxing the gimbals. Now the gimbal itself weighs 557 grams, or a little under 1 pound 4 ounces. So the whole system is I'm trying to keep my weight down as much as possible. And after watching everybody else's YouTube reviews, most people were saying that all these gimbals are so similar, and so having the built-in charger, I guess, was the make or break. And of course, the first thing you want to do with the gimbal is to adjust the weight. Let me make sure my camera's set in there nice and tight. And you want to get all the weights as close as you can so it's real neutral. And they have a little knob right here in the back, so you can just inch that out a little bit. It doesn't take a lot of movement. And then to do this, you actually just move this whole carriage up and down. There we go, nice and balanced. Now to turn it on, have a button right over here on the side. Hold that down. It goes right into place. Now to use the wireless charging, I just hit that button twice. See if I've got my phone on. There we go. Now I've got it doing charging through the handle, through the phone. And the handle itself has mini USB input, so you can actually input a separate power brick into the handle, charge the handle, in turn charging your phone. So if you want to do something like a really long time lapse or something, you can actually accomplish quite a bit. And to put it in sleep mode, we just hit that button once and it just goes into a sleep mode, so you're not using up all your power. Then to get it back alive, hit that button once. Up it goes, it's all ready. Now I'm going to do how to upgrade the firmware and how to calibrate it in another video, and I'm going to actually do a lot of other videos, and so this is really just a brief overview. On the handle, this is where all your controls are. You've got a button and a dial, and then you've got a thumb toggle right up there, and then you've got some indicator lights, and that is where you control everything. There is no trigger or anything on this back side. One of the biggest things I heard from people on the reviews was the using this interface here. Now I've had it for 2 weeks and I can do it in my sleep now, so I don't think that's a valid response. But over here we have where you determine what it's going to do. If it's going to yaw follow, or it's going to pitch follow, it's going to all follow, or it's all lock. And you adjust it by pushing on this side or clicking this side. Right now it's set to yaw follow. Right now it's set to pitch follow. Now it's set to all follow. Now it's set to all lock. Now if we just want to get everything recentered, we just hit this bottom button twice, and then it recenters itself. If we want to do selfie mode, we just hit that bottom button 3 times, and it turns around for selfie mode. Now the other really cool feature is inception mode. And I'm going to do videos on what all these mean. And so that's when you put the camera, the whole system into a flashlight mode, and then it spins around. And to get there, you triple tap the top, and you've got inception mode. Now you can use that thumbstick to rotate. Another feature is that you can operate the camera without a special app. So if you just want to use your own camera's app, I can use that. I can do inception mode. I can do anything that I just showed you with the camera, and so they're independent of each other. So a software like Filmic Pro, you can use that as well. It's not integrated into Filmic Pro yet like the other some of the other gimbals, but I would imagine that it will be someday. Now you can download the Moza Mini app, and this is where you're going to really want to get into if you want to work with the camera and its settings, or you want to use their software. So you just load that up and you make sure it's in your Bluetooth. Now what we're going to do is you just touch right there to connect it, and now it's connected. What you can do from this screen is tap it again, and you've got recenter, calibrate, put it to sleep, and then you can get into your settings. So at this point you can change all the parameters as far as like inception speed, zoom speed. Yeah, so you can set all those different speeds and strengths. But they also have their own camera control software. So from here, and this is where there was a big issue before, that someone said that the software's really difficult. Right here, you can see what your parameters are as far as what gimbal settings you have. Right now it's set to all lock. It's set at 1080p at 30. This is your timer, and then you've got flash if you want to take a picture. And these are your 2 battery lives right there. Here you have your focus, and you can lock just like in Filmic Pro. And here you have your exposure, just like in Filmic Pro, and you can lock it. Now the other thing that was, and up here you have a little setting here, so you can get into some of the really cool stuff, the follow mode, the track mode, and so you just draw over something you want. We'll get into that later. There's your camera, there's your gallery, and there's your switch camera. Now, so this was somebody's having a problem with the software. So if you just click on the top there, so I can switch cameras. Switch back. I can press this middle button and start recording. Do the Genie app. We hit it again. There's the gallery. There you get this little spirit level. It comes up in the corner. Tells you if you're even. I don't know if you can tell. I haven't really gotten that excited about that. There's your flash. There's your anti-shake. Here's your shooting mode. So we can go over and we can change shooting mode, and now we can go to taking a picture, taking a video, time lapse, and advanced time lapse photography. Here you go into professional mode. So now you get into exposure compensation, white balance, zoom, get into our resolutions, and this is where it's not quite kept up with the Note yet, but you can change all your, right there you can do 720 at 240, there's 1080 at 240. So you can just switch it around real easy with your thumb. We go up and we can add some grid lines if we want, and then we can add different filters, and then we can do a focus. There we have autofocus, continuous focus, and continuous picture, and infinity focus. Now that's a really cool, another really cool thing is that like if you want to do the vertigo effect, you can actually just, they don't advertise this anywhere, but you can just hit the bottom of the dial and it will go through its whole rack focus for you. They don't advertise that anywhere, but it can do it. Then you just click it once again and it'll rack focus out. And you're going to set that adjustment speed in that camera settings. And that's the Moza Mini Mi. I'm real excited to get it out there. I will be doing more how-tos with it. When I go backpacking, when I use my 360 camera, I have this really nice Manfrotto monopod, and you can do some really great things that are more like a slider routine. You can do some high gimbal shots with something like this, and that just screws right into the bottom. So I'm going to continue on doing these, and as I learn, and I've been using it every day for 2 weeks, and just like my iGlide, you have to use it and use it and use it to get used to it. So hope you stick with me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye now.